Hello and welcome to yet another little rendition from me. Just a very short update, really. First of all, a CC, Connecting Consciousness update. I've written to every member, wherever you are in the world. Hopefully you're going to get that. And I've also written to all your coordinators as well. And what we're asking for is a meditation not to send love and light to President Trump, nor to try to stop Joe Biden. What we're going to do is we're going to send a meditation to the group or the collective consciousness of humanity. There are millions and millions of people who don't listen to radio shows like mine or presentations like mine, but they voted for President Trump. Perhaps not just because they are politically that way inclined, but they actually thought that the man was right. And when the cabal announced that, Biden's got 270 college votes and he will be the next president, there is a danger that the human consciousness is going to take quite a knock. In lay terms, a depression, a sadness, almost like, oh, let's give up. And I don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to send strength, energy of being calm. And so all of your coordinators are going to operate this on Sunday. Doesn't matter what time, as long as it's Sunday British time. And I'm asking you either to work with your coordinators. If you don't have a coordinator, form a little group. And if you really don't have a group, then I'd be very grateful if you could just do something yourself. It only needs to be just a couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, not one of these great long half an hour things. And what we're going to be doing, what I'm asking you to do, is to send strength, calming energy to the group consciousness so that humanity can be a little bit more balanced and strong and not so disrupted by what's happening. And I chose Sunday as the date, British time. We don't need to send any strength to President Trump, and we don't want to be aggressive and try and target the other side. So that's the first part. Thank you very much for doing what you do. You know that I don't ask you to do meditations very often. And 9 times out of 10 you're pushing me, and I don't. I only do it when we really need to, and we really need to. So please, on Sunday, give it your best shot. Thank you. That's the CC stuff. Now here's the update stuff. And if you're one of the very many people that really loves my updates, but you don't take part in the meditation, well, you should. So here's the update. Had President Trump won the election in the first instance, then we would have had a reoccurrence of what we've had over the last 4 years. In other words, for 4 years, there's been an unseen war between the deep state and the belief of President Trump and those around him. The difficulty for everybody involved in this was that ordinary people, the people that don't listen to my shows or any of the other shows, ordinary people who just believe what they're told generally, weren't understanding because they weren't seeing. It was a war taking place behind a curtain. Had President Trump won through whatever means on the front of it, that 4 years would have gone on. And I and many other people actually have been saying that we've got to be more transparent. We've got to bring the people in on this. The people need to understand what the heck has been going on. So this process should make everyone on the planet aware of who the baddies are and what's gone on. So if you're wondering why President Trump is being a little bit quiet, it's because he's been told to be quiet, because it's part of the plan. I have had, not many, a few communications with a number of people over the last 24 hours. And the very clear information that I'm being given is that we really should expect some arrests. Now, how many times have we heard or read that? What I'm talking about is arrests in the public gaze. In other words, we really should see court action that allows officially investigators to obtain ballots. We then should see a list of names drawn up. Well, we won't see the list of names, but what should happen is the list of names are drawn up, added to the list that's already there, and then there should be some arrests for whatever the equivalent in America is of voter fraud. I don't know what the legal standing is, but the information that I have clearly received is that that we really should be looking in the public domain for a number of arrests on this matter. If you think back to one of the last presentations or podcasts or whatever you want to call it, appeals I made, I talked about how those people around the president really need to step up and do what they said. And I think that's really important, because let's take a hypothetical case of a woman who designs highways. Let's take a hypothetical case of a woman who makes roads, freeways, highways. That's what she does, and she designs it for years and years and years. And the construction company says, yeah, we'll build that for you, no problem. And the legislature say, yeah, we'll pass that for you, no problem. And then that person then, after 10 years of hard work, produces this fantastic blueprint for a highway, and the construction workers say, we don't want to do that. And the legislature say, no, we don't want to do that. And that's what I mean. That if we take President Trump as that person who's crafted and designed and sweated hard work to get that design, and then others who around him don't follow through, then of course it's not going to work. So my appeal to those people stands firm and true. That you have to stand behind and you have to follow through. So it is a program of the courts. It is a program of a number of what we might call under the cover operations to bring to justice. But it's got to be done in the public domain, because otherwise, if it isn't, and it's just the odd bit of fraud, and it's made that President Trump did win, but it was an odd bit of fraud. Well, we've got the same thing. We've got 4 more years of people, trying to work against everything the president stands for. So it has to come out in the public. It has to be a show trial. There has to be something. And I was absolutely interested when all of the major American news channels interrupted President Trump's live broadcast, literally interrupted it, and they cut to the commentators saying, "Oh, we're cutting the president's speech because what he's saying isn't true." Have you ever heard of anything like that in the history of the United States of America, where the president of the United States of America is speaking on television, they cut in, and then a commentator says the president's saying things that are not true, and therefore we're not going to show it? Basically calling the president of the United States a liar and saying, we're not going to let him even speak to you. We're going to cut the broadcast. That is the sign of an operation where the people behind it are so confident that they can even shut up the president from speaking to the American people. And remember, he is the president till, the 20th of January? Regardless of anything, he's still the president. So these newscasters who are part of the deep state hate the president. Hate's a horrible word, actually. But they hate the president so much that they all think that he's finished, that he's not going to be the president, so they have no need to have any respect or pretend respect. And they're going to, stop him from speaking to the audience. And that actually is what goes on in communist countries, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what happened under Joseph Stalin. It actually happened under Adolf Hitler. It's where a system believes that it is greater than the rule of law. So it's one thing for someone to be deplatformed, taken off Twitter or taken off YouTube. It's quite another to actually, on a live broadcast, cut that feed and say to the American people, your president is lying to you. So if it's going to go anywhere, it has to go in the public domain. No more of these, under the cover arrests, because we're always left to ask, did they or didn't they? And the public are none the wiser. So this has to happen. We just have to hope that the people around the president are who they say they are, and that they will arrest these people. Those charges will be transparent. They will be in the public domain. And that ordinary people who thought that President Trump was just an idiot will suddenly realize that there was a massive program to get rid of him. And, the courts are involved, because it will be the courts and it will be secret operations backing that up that have to play out. Now, if it doesn't play out, it means that those very people who promised the earth weren't prepared to deliver. And that's the key here. So the world is waiting and holding its breath. And that's why I've asked my membership across the world not to bother with President Trump, not to bother with Biden or bother with any of the other processes, but to simply send a calming, stabilizing wave of energy to human consciousness, so that all of the people are not upset or derailed or shocked when, as I predicted, the cabal announced that Biden has 270 college votes. So when that happens, I don't want human consciousness to be so crashed that it's susceptible to other nonsense. And that is the role, that is the job of every member of CC, is to fight for those people who have not yet reached your level. They've not yet reached the level of understanding that you have. And there are absolutely a load of people that listen to me and are not members of CC. That's fine, and that's up to you. But the more people that join the meditation, then the stronger that wave and the more effect we'll have. So that's it. I'm not at all worried if those around the president stay true. I'm not at all worried. Oh, and I just want to, I haven't got the details, I just want to thank the gun club in the United States that has very kindly offered me a free advanced gun training program when I get to America. Now, I am hoping that when I get to the US, the situation will have calmed down greatly. But I want to thank all of the military and the ex-military and all of those who deeply hate the satanic forces in the United States. Thank you for showing me your support. I know you can't do it publicly, and I wouldn't ask it. And I hope that when the situation comes and make that move to the US, that an amount of stability has been regained, and that it's very clear where the next 4 years are going. So thank you. Next 4 days are crucial. 4 days: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Next 4 days are crucial. And if we don't see mass arrests, if we don't see it all happening, it means that something's gone badly wrong. But information I'm getting is that it's going to happen. So let's see. Take care. Bye-bye.